Hey everybody, welcome back. Art Conspiracy. Wanted to talk to you a little bit about looking for subject matter around town in my little beach town where I am. I went out this morning and my goal is to do a sketch every day. Sometimes I'll do it on location, sometimes I'll take photographs. That's what I did today. I was heading down to the morning market. And anyway, let me share some things. Better than me just talking about it. Picture's worth 1,000 words, right? So here we go. This isn't like the world's best photograph, but I pride myself that I'm not a great photographer, actually, because if my pictures are not that great, then I have to make them better through my drawing, and simplify them and enhance them and edit them. And, if it's a really good photograph, what am I going to do with it? That's already better than it is. Anyway, this struck me, these beautiful colors, just all the different playful textures and little things going on. But even getting closer, this is what I do too. I get photographs, and a lot of times I have to crop them or zoom in. But this was one idea that I had, something that attracted me. But when I first go out, I'm really just kind of casting a wide net and looking everywhere. And sometimes I'm like not seeing that much. Like, this is really interesting to me, but a lot of small parts. And I'm looking for something, I don't know, with bigger shapes. Dirty white. This is one of my favorite things to find. I love this idea of dirty white because there's a lot of big white areas on sides of buildings and so forth in Thailand, but they're weathered and they have all this really kind of cool patterns that show up, and it actually reveals kind of how they're built too. Like, you can see the masonry because it doesn't all weather the same way. And look at this cool shadow. Cool. And I really mean cool. It's sort of a violet shadow, but that's an interesting thing. As I head down the street, I see more and more very colorful around here, PKK. And anyway, here's something that I might play with when I get back to the studio, to my temporary studio. Here's another form. I mean, for me, Thailand is like, one of the things I love about it is like a patchwork quilt of shapes and textures and directions, and it's so much fun to play with. And also you can see the interiors, because the sun is so bright, the interiors are super, super dark. And I love this because I can see inside with my eyes better than you can see with a photograph. And so there's limitations, although you can take photographs into Snapseed or something like that and pull out some of this, but you can also just make up what's in those shadows. Here's another really colorful one. I love this color over here. Really fun. So walking around, and it really occurs to me that what I really love is the texture, all the different textures of things, the stone and the metal and the grating and the weathering of things. That's what really kind of intrigues me. So I made it down to the morning market, and here's ladies selling fish, a lot of fresh fish, because we're right by the sea. And there's a big, huge morning market in there. And I'm walking around. Oh, I thought this was great. Look at this scene. Again, the photograph isn't particularly great, but the scene is amazing. And this is a close-up. And this is something that I'm really interested in working with. This guy over here caught me taking his picture, and he like waved at me. They're often, I'm a tourist. There's not a lot of tourists in this town, and I stand out like a sore thumb. I don't blend, and then people notice me, and I don't want to take their picture, and be obtrusive. So I'm sort of mindful, and I try to be a little bit sneaky, but sometimes I get caught. And this is wabi sabi. There's always just piles of stuff, and sometimes I'm really attracted to this, and want to paint it. Here's another little scene that I walked by. Isn't that beautiful? What's so beautiful about this, I'll just want to point this out, is two things. One is the value contrast. It's the stark dark of their hair and the shirt, and even below here, balanced with that light yellow, the light. And the other thing that makes this so interesting is all the bright colors, all the high key colors. And then the girls actually are pretty neutral. They're like black and white almost in the midst of all this color. And those two things are really great. And if I'm going to do something from this, which I am, that's the kind of evaluation that I'll do of the scene. Here's another wide shot of the morning market. This is not something I would paint because it doesn't have like big shapes. I need texture, but I also need like big clear spaces. Doesn't really have that. But look at that. It's a great market. Here's another one. Another market scene. And here's one like, I would never copy this photo. I would use this photo and this woman's face behind the meat that's hanging. I would turn her head so she's peeking out or something like it. That's not good. This needs improvement. And also this weird shadow on this leg. If you copy a photo and you don't consider, how it's going to read, sometimes you'll just copy something that doesn't make sense. You don't question it in the photo, but you will in the art. And here's another scene I love. These bikes are everywhere around town. This whole operation is attached to this scooter. So when they drive off, they take the whole thing with it, which is pretty fun. I would not paint this, but this is something I came across, which I thought was pretty fun. Little John and Yoko in Thailand. And this bird in this bird cage. This is just all the things I'm seeing on my morning walk. So wonderful. Okay, here's something I might paint. The texture, just the shapes, those bendy shapes. So much fun. Here's another little wabi-sabi doorway down this little soy. That's another version. Yes, and that big light patch here. He's really looking at the world through the eyes of a painter. And look at the beautiful surface of this wall. Now I'm walking up here, love this wall. Look at this little detail over here on the right. I show you because it gets better. Yeah, that would be very fun to play with. Zero in a little bit more. I don't know, there's just something about that. I find it's very graphic and quite beautiful. So back to this, back to the beginning, I had to make some decisions. And what I've been doing is I photograph every day, and then I draw my favorites. And then I'll paint or make collages out of the favorite drawings. So the drawings are sort of an evaluation. So here's what I did with this one. There's the sketch. And I think I improved it. I think I improved the scene. I simplified, go back to this for a second. I eliminate a lot of the detail and I get down to it, but the dryer here with that light on it. And this is a thumbnail sketch, really. It's just evaluating the shapes and the value, the light and dark. Okay, here's another one. I put these side by side, not to show you how close it is to the photograph, but really to show you how I depart from the photograph. But here's that one scene that I like so much. And here is my little pencil drawing. And it's really quite simplified, There's a lot of things going on. And the thing is, I'll take like little shifts in light. I can't tell what's going on. Is that a bench? Is that a shelf? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's just a little suggestion, gives me something to do, play with in the background. So this one's pretty fun. And also look at the signage up here. I just made it into very simplified shapes. But here's another one that I thought would be good. And you can see I zeroed in, I got closer, and I dropped the fan a little. I dropped this corner where it's blue up in this corner. But this is my simplification of this scene. And these thumbnails, these drawings really help me just decide, whether I want to go forward with paint, whether I want to spend more time. And they're really great quick evaluations. And then here's that other scene that you saw. So those are my options. This one. I might very well do more than one. This one. But I've decided that I'm going to start with this. You can see how big this is. So on the next video, I'm going to paint this and then take it forward into collage. See how that goes. So I'll share that with you. So it was a good day in PKK, and that's it from our conspiracy. Hey, send me a comment, will you? Would it kill you to send me a comment? I would love to not feel like I'm talking to myself. If you're getting something out of this, drop me a line. Okay. See you later. Bye from our conspiracy.